The real estate plan. I'd give my 18-year-old self, if I could go back to 18 years old, I wouldn't ask for more money, I'd ask for more clarity. Because back then I thought success meant grades, degrees, and maybe a corporate job that made my parents proud. But the truth? Real wealth isn't built in classrooms. It's built in decisions, small, repeatable ones made early. So here's how I'd reset everything. I'd stop worrying about being behind. You're not behind. You're just early in the game. At 18, the most powerful thing you can do isn't to chase money. It's to build leverage. Leverage of knowledge. Leverage of habits. Leverage of time. And most importantly, leverage of mindset. I would unlearn the idea that I need to trade my time for money forever. Instead, I'd learn how to trade money for time and build systems that work even when I don't. That's the mindset shift most people never make. They chase jobs. I'd chase assets. They want a raise. I'd want a return. And with that foundation, everything starts to change. Deleting the old playbook at 18, you're bombarded with advice. Go to college. Pick a safe major. Don't take risks. But most of that advice was designed for a different economy. One where stability was the goal. That world is gone. Today, the real risk isn't doing too much. It's doing nothing different. So I'd delete the old playbook. I'd stop chasing prestige and start chasing control. Because when you have control of your time, your income, and your growth, that's when you can truly build wealth. Most 18-year-olds are taught to ask for permission. Permission to apply. Permission to get promoted. Permission to succeed. I'd teach myself to create my own permission by building something of value. And no, that doesn't mean starting the next tech company or being famous. It means solving problems people care about over and over again. That's what the world rewards. Not degrees, not resumes. Solutions. My $10K education plan. If I had $10,000 at 18, I wouldn't blow it on a car or a new phone. I'd invest in the most underrated asset in the world, skill stacking. I'd spend the first $2,000 learning copywriting. Because when you know how to write persuasively, you can sell anything. Products, services, even ideas. Then I'd spend another $2,000 mastering video and content creation. Not for TikTok fame, but to learn how to package and present value at scale. With the next $2,000, I'd learn how to analyze deals, whether it's real estate, small businesses, or online assets. Because the ability to evaluate a good deal from a bad one is what separates the broke from the wealthy. The final $4,000? That would be split between mentorship, online communities, and maybe one in-person event. Not for networking, but for proximity to people who think differently. Because the fastest way to upgrade your life is to upgrade your circle. This is the education that pays dividends, not in tests and grades, but in income, freedom, and long-term options. How to find the first deal. Here's what I'd tell my younger self about finding deals. Don't wait for a perfect property. Wait for a good enough deal in a great enough location. Start with these filters. City has population growth, median home price under $250K A2, 4-unit properties available. Rents are at least 1% of price. I'd use Zillow, Redfin, Rentometer, and even drive neighborhoods looking for rent signs. I'd also email 5 local property managers and ask, what neighborhoods are best for long-term rental cash flow? Why? Because boots on the ground truth beats online theory every time. Why cash flow matters more than appreciation. At 18, I thought appreciation was everything. Buy low, sell high, they say. But for a beginner, that's risky. You can't eat equity. You can't pay rent with property value. But cash flow? That's real. That's spendable. That's freedom. I'd teach myself to only buy properties that cash flow from day one. Even if it's just $150/month, that's your foundation. Because $150 x 10 properties equal, sign $1,500 a month passive income. And that's what changes lives. So skip the shiny zip codes. Buy boring rentals with real cash flow. Next, I'll show what I do after that first deal. From age 19 to 23, I'd repeat one simple goal, one property per year. I'd save, I'd network, I'd refinance equity, I'd look for creative financing. Maybe I use VA or USDA loans. Maybe I partner with a friend. Maybe I negotiate seller financing. No matter how, the target stays the same. Add one new cash-flowing property every year. In 5 years, you'd have 5 properties, 10, 15 units, $1,500 to $3,000 month in cash flow, $200K plus in equity, 5 tax shelters, and a skill set 99% of people never develop all before turning 24. That's how you win early, by stacking boring wins. At 18, I was tempted by every YouTube video, flip for $50K, crypto moonshot, wholesaling in 30 days. But looking back, I'd ignore it all, because most of that is dopamine, not discipline. And real wealth is boring. I'd tell myself, don't compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. Don't chase results. Chase repetitions. Every deal you do sharpens your skill. And by the time hype dies out, your portfolio is quietly growing. You don't need to go to college to learn real estate. Here's what I'd do instead. Read 5 books repeatedly. The Millionaire Real Estate Investor, Gary Keller, Set for Life, Scott Trenched Buy, Rehab, Rent, Refinance, Repeat, David Green, Tax Free Wealth, Tom Wheelwright, Rich, Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. Listen to Bigger Pockets podcasts daily. Follow 3 investors with actual portfolios, not just followers. And I'd spend 1 hour a day learning, then go apply it. Education without action is procrastination. Here are the top 5 traps I'd scream at my 18-year-old self to dodge. Don't overpay because of emotion. Don't buy a property you wouldn't live in. Don't skip the inspection, ever. Don't trust every lender or contractor blindly. Don't quit your job after 1 deal. This game is slow, but the ones who stay calm win. Avoiding mistakes is 10x more powerful than chasing genius. Once I hit deal #3 or #4, I'd start systemizing. Bring in a bookkeeper, a property manager, a handyman or contractor, a real estate agent I trust. Why? Because the goal isn't to own 5 jobs, it's to own 5 properties. And I'd use that free time to find more deals. Most people burn out by trying to do everything. I'd focus on owning the system, not being the system. Here's the truth I didn't understand until my late 20s. Most people fail at wealth because they quit too soon. The first 2 years feel slow. The 3rd year feels pointless. But the 4th year is when magic happens. Rents go up. Mortgages stay fixed. Your network gets stronger. And your equity snowballs. That's when you realize you were building the base of a skyscraper the whole time. And now, you rise. Let's break the math. Start with $10K. Use FHA to house hack. Each year, add 1 property with saved cash or refee. By year 5, you're holding $750K plus in assets. Cash flow. $2, 500 month equity. $250K plus. Now, refi 2 properties, extract $60K. Use that $60K to buy 2 more. By year 10, 15 units, $5,000 plus cash flow. $1M plus asset value, $300K plus equity. That's not a dream. That's math, but only if you follow the plan. People love saying, you can't do that anymore. Real estate's too expensive. Interest rates killed the game. That worked in 2012, but not now. But they're wrong. The rules changed, not the principles. Yes, prices went up. Yes, interest rates are higher. Yes, competition is tougher. But here's what they forget. Rents also went up. More creative financing exists now than ever before. More tools, platforms, and data give you an unfair edge. And your knowledge compounds faster because of people like me. Sharing the path in real-time. Real estate didn't die. Lazy thinking did. You just have to adapt the tactics, not abandon the strategy. In 2012, it was about cheap prices. In 2025, it's about smart structure, partnerships, and terms. You can still house hack. You can still buy for cash flow. You can still use VA, USDA, FHA, seller financing, and subject to. And if you're willing to play long-term while everyone else flips short-term, you'll win. Because the market rewards those who solve problems, not those who wait for perfect timing. Let's get honest. There will be days when you feel like it's not working. You'll wake up tired, defeated, and doubt yourself. Deals fall through. Tenants ghost you. Your friends take vacations you can't afford. You question whether this grind is even worth it. I've been there. And if I could sit beside my younger self on one of those nights, I'd say this: don't let this low moment erase your long-term vision. Because most people don't fail for lack of opportunity. They fail because they gave up 1 deal too soon. Every hour you spend learning, saving, calling lenders, analyzing deals, that's equity in your future life. You're not behind. You're building. You're not broke. You're investing. You're not missing out. You're buying time, in bulk, for later. Success feels boring 95% of the time. It looks like repetition, like sacrifice, like saying no. But the other 5%? It's the moment you walk into a property and realize you own it. It's the first rent payment that covers your bills. It's the freedom to walk away from any job, any boss, any crisis, because your assets pay you. So when the grind gets heavy, remember why you started. You're building a life most people will never have the patience to earn. Stay in the game. If I could send one letter back in time, one final page to my 18-year-old self, it wouldn't be filled with formulas or checklists. It would be this. The world will try to convince you that the path to success is linear: school, job, retirement. But you're not here to follow paths. You're here to build them. You'll be tempted to chase degrees for validation, to seek permission before taking action, to wait for some magical signal that says, you're ready. But none of that is real. What's real is this: time is your greatest asset. Momentum is your sharpest weapon. And ownership, not employment, is what builds freedom. You won't feel ready. You'll doubt yourself more often than you admit. But every step you take toward buying assets instead of liabilities, every sacrifice you make to own a piece of this world, is building something that future you will thank you for. The 18-year-old version of me didn't need to be perfect. He just needed to start. So here's your permission slip. From your future, take the risk. Skip the applause. Buy the ugly duplex. Learn the numbers. And when it gets hard, remember, you're not just buying real estate, you're buying your future. Brick by brick, check by check, door by door. Build it. If I had known all of this at 18, I'd be financially free a decade earlier. But I'm here now, building in public and sharing every lesson with you. So if you're just starting, whether you're 18 or 38, remember, it's not too late. It's not too small. And you're not alone. Subscribe for more episodes in the $100K Wealth Shift series. Affiliate tools and books in the description below. Drop a comment. What advice would you give your 18-year-old self? See you in the next episode. This is Dropout Investor, where real money meets real strategy. Let's build.